All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up here for your moderator. Not everybody at once. Everybody, let's give it up for you.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Henry of the Shockwaves podcast and Fangoria's new show, Nightmare University. I would like to bring to the stage our Elm Street Brats, as they're calling them. Let me start with Brooke Bundy. Let me try again. Brooke Bundy. Next up, Lisa Wilcox. Jane Crystal. Andres Jones. Andros, thank you. Toy Newkirk. And Miss Tuesday Night. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. You guys had a good Texas Writers Festival? Everything been awesome so far?
Yes, everything is awesome.
Texas, or wherever you're from,
So,
you guys are killing it.
I'm going to start and ask how you first got involved with the film. Did you go into a casting call, an audition, or how did you get involved with the film to begin with?
Should we start?
Yes, please.
I actually had always turned down horror movies because I didn't want some fool in some theater said, well, that looks like a good idea. I just didn't want to have any part of that. So as my agent could talk me into this. So I thought, okay, I had no idea how important this franchise was to become, or was in the process of becoming, until like the third or fourth day I was on the set, and I noticed that there were a bunch of people kind of congregating over by the wardrobe department. And I wonder what that's about. Turns out someone had snuck into the studio in the middle of the night, risked a felony situation, and stole Freddie's sweater. And I'm like, whoa, I'm into something big.
Well, yeah, I was out of college and I had a manager and agent. They submitted me for the role of Alice Johnson, and I think I was up for the role of Debbie at one point too. Anyway, they submitted me, but the casting office refused to see me. They said absolutely not. Because back then in the 80s, I had virgin blonde platinum hair, the Barbizon makeup, 80s. I looked like a freaking cheerleader, right? Not really like the character of Alice, right? Now I did have gone to UCLA, I had a degree in theater, I studied Grotowski, all this, but anyway, they wouldn't see me based on my picture. Anyway, after about a month, and Annette Benson tells me this story because she's the casting director for the Nightmare on Elm Street series, and she said that they'd auditioned like over 600 actresses for the role of Alice, and they couldn't find her Alice, so they finally went through the throwaway pile. I was in the trash can, and they pulled me out, and they said, okay, let's try this chick. So I got to audition, and I went wearing my worst color, yellow, no makeup. I acted, and I had one call back, and I was getting married that weekend, big wedding. I was on my honeymoon, and found out I got the role of Alice. And I also had the opportunity, because Tuesday was cast first, and she was in the room, and I read with her. And Tuesday can tell you that story, and it was between me and another actress, right, Tuesday, and you told Rennie, you're like, no, that's the one. This is the one.
Yes, I did.
Thank you, Tuesday.
You're welcome.
Me, I just slept my way to the top. I'm just kidding, man. It's not that good. It was an audition, and there was a pile of headshots, and somehow they pulled mine out of it, and I got the role. And then they didn't even change the character name, so it was kind of meant to be. It was like really, but it was Dan, and my name's Danny, so they're like, we'll hire that dude. So no, it worked. Tuesday was cast, and then I met Rennie Harlan, and we clicked right off. And he was like, "You're my guy. You're my football dude. You're the jockey guy. You're in." And I was like, "I think I got the role." were 2 Lisas at first, and then I got to read with you, and then another one, and then we found out like a day later that it was happening. And then I got to be part of it. I got to be immortalized and get killed. Here we are, 30 years later, with all you guys.
So, was the question how we got into Nightmare or how we got into film in general?
How you got into Nightmare specifically?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, also Tuesday, basically. She basically cast the whole film. Somehow she had cast a spell over Rennie Harlan, and he would do anything she said. And so he cast Lisa because she said so, and he cast me because she said so.
Yeah.
And then she Me Too'd me. We did end up going out for a while, for about 1.5 years, right?
No, more like 3 years.
Sure, whatever. My point, this actually goes to making my point. I was just a pup. I was 19 years old. I was barely past the age of consent.
I think you consented just fine.
You got me there. Enthusiastic consent. It was enthusiastic consent. Absolutely.
God, I wish Tuesday casted me.
It's not a euphemism, toy. It's actually casting.
She's like, I need a toy. I was like, what? No. I just went through the normal process. I had 7 auditions, maybe 8. Yeah, it was just ridiculous. And they kept saying, lighten up on the makeup, keep the hair up, do everything, wear glasses, da-da-da-da. And I just kind of drowned out myself, my sparkle. And they're like, good, you got the job. I was like, what? That sucks.
You still sparkle.
And that was it. I got the job, and Rennie put us all together. We've been friends ever since.
Yeah, for me it was also just it was an audition. I just got the audition and went in, and I read for Annette, the casting director, and then after that I read with Rennie, and he basically, after we'd done the scene a couple times, he just basically hired me on the spot, which was really amazing. And then that was it, and then I got the role, and then I walked outside of the New Line Cinema, and then I was so excited that I got it. I tripped down like 2 flights of stairs, and somebody picked me up at the bottom, and I was still like so happy that I was bleeding, but it was okay.
Could any of you speak about what you knew about the Elm Street franchise going into this, or where it's gone from there?
At that time?
Expecting it to go to that point while you were on set making the film.
To be honest, we had no idea that it was going to blow up like that.
No
way.
Nobody.
No.
To be honest, this isn't true, but this one guy said to me, he goes, back then doing a horror film was one step from doing porn.
Yeah.
They were like, you got a horror film? There were like 3 channels, and so nobody had no idea.
And especially because porn and horror, so it's perfect for me. I always loved horror films since I was little. Small grasshopper. But especially the way when he says, like when we got the script and then the writers went on strike and then we had 40 days to film an entire movie in a warehouse that was out in Valencia, in the middle of the desert, and we had like kind of half walls up, and you hear everyone else doing their scenes be like, action, shh, quiet. All right, toy, go. And I'm like, wait. And so it just didn't feel like we were really doing a big movie, but yet there was something intrinsically, like there was an energy that I think we all felt like, oh wow, you know what? We're doing something cool. If no one else knows about it,
Right.
we're hustling our ass off in this little 40-day period, and there was special effects and the creative teams, and we all just felt like a part of that motion.
And I think also Rennie was a good part of it too, because of the direction and stuff like that, with everybody. I think he added a lot, and by putting this all together, I think he really came up with something good.
Yeah.
Also,
Go ahead. No, jump in.
I was going to say also, I've said this, I think, but I think that in part the fact that Rennie was new to the country and English was not his first language meant that he gave us a lot of latitude, would trust us, especially because he didn't have writers to go to say, oh, this thing isn't working, you guys want to try and do something that's different with it. So we got to be much more creative. It was a weird first experience for a big film that you think, oh, They're always going to want me to rewrite my scenes.
Right. That's a total difference. That is a total difference because I worked on Murder, She Wrote, which was like a very successful show with huge Hollywood. So my point is, when you got there, they were like, "Hey kid," and I was like 22. They're calling me because they're, these are established. You do not change the script. You hit your marks, and you
and then get out.
Or you're fired.
Yeah, or you're out. You're done. You're not. And so that, coming from like a Burbank Studios, Angela Lansbury, and hit your marks, kid, do it right, and say the line exactly like it's in the script. And then we go to Nightmare on Elm Street, we're like, hey, how do you guys feel about this?
Yeah.
You want to say that? Or is that what we're doing?
Let's
Well, how about I say this? And they're like, okay, cool, run with that, So there was a big difference.
Artistic freedom.
There was an ad in Variety magazine. Robert told me about this. It's a picture of him holding my head and in a tuxedo. And we were sort of like a joke in the industry. We were sort of like a teen, horror movies, blah, 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 and kind of looking down at us. Apparently we had made so much money. We took out this big ad in Variety, not we, I mean, the company.
New Line.
Took out a big ad with the amount of money that we had made, and suddenly the industry went, oh, wait a minute, hold the phone here. So we really went from this, teen horror, blah, blah, to like up here in terms of respect. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. They're putting New Line on me, I'm not going to, but they did how New Line was.
Yeah, you like Lord of the Rings, fake us.
Now, speaking of Lenny, what was the directing style that you guys were with? He was letting you kind of redo characters and things like that. But were you getting a lot of character? Were you getting a lot of on-set notes? Or was it just kind of do your thing, we trust you?
Do your thing, we trust you, and there's a lot of latitude and a lot of trust. So when you have that kind of trust, creativity, with your creative juices, you feel safe. Because you can be on a set, like you were talking about, you don't feel safe. You're just like, I just better be a really good little girl. But but on the set, it was like we really were trying to work together to create something amazing. Like I remember in the diner scene, there's so I'm out with the waitress, and I'm finding some work to do, some things to do. What would I do? And I'm like, oh, we're polishing silverware. And there's this amazing shadow happening on the wall, and I'm like, Rennie, come look at this shadow. And I was holding forks. I'm like, it looks like a gun. He grabs the knives. Use the knives. Well, Tuesday knows how to do it.
Oh, Lisa, you look so good today. Stick the knives up.
So I'm holding knives, so that little shot insert was just kind of happening because we felt free artistically, So it was just a great experience. Now that we've all had numerous acting experiences with other kinds of sets, other kinds of directors, yeah, Rennie was awesome. It really was. Yay, Rennie.
What did you think about that?
Well, like I said, it was a wonderful absence of direction, which allowed us to be. Because he's a very visual director, and that film is before CGI, and the special effects, as you said, we had 3 or 4 sets going out at one time. Like we had the scene. What I remember is the scene where Ken Sagos flies out of the window.
Yeah.
He's laying on the bed, and that is a room built onto the wall, and there's someone chained into a chair, and then they fall down through the window in the box. And you had that built on one thing, and then you have Rodney's waterbed thing in another place, and he's running around having to he doesn't speak English very well. It's his first big budget film. He's running around basically making 4 movies at once. We have the first unit and the second unit shooting. And so he just didn't have time, or necessarily, the inclination to work with actors. But he was either he had great instincts, or he made some great choices, and that he put together a bunch of people who I think all brought the best out of each other. And so we just, there was a kind of kismet to our chemistry for ourselves that he was able to trust. So your dog, and you're bringing me out, because Rennie and I butted heads a little bit.
I'm bringing you out.
It was a different time in Hollywood, and he was definitely he was kind of a macho guy, and I'm not, and but at the same time, that's going to be on every set. There's all kinds of stuff, but the proof is in the pudding, and this turned into an amazing thing. So, I mean, just because he yada my story about my dad and that one thing. I don't know. Sorry. Inside baseball. Sorry.
Well,
I didn't get any laugh at all. Thanks, Tuesday.
Each of the Nightmare films feels a little bit more tonally different from the one before. Whereas the first one is really dark and raw and visceral. They seem to be getting a little bit more comedic as they're going along. Did you get any feeling of that on set? Like, were you given any sense of humor?
Definitely. Yeah.
Robert became the star. The star. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was the star. We're like the star. We're the new brats that are going to get killed, basically, or there's our mom. So, but Robert was the star. And like you said, the first movie was dark. And you saw him like bitch. You didn't see him. It was like in the shadows all the time. That's all. But then 4, he says he has sunglasses on. He kills Tuesday in the daylight. There's
Like a horror film. When you ever see a horror film that takes place on a beach in broad daylight, Robert putting on Ray-Bans.
Right.
And then you got some great rock and 80s music. Woo! It's garbage. I mean, it was the MTV, Rob always called the MTV Nightmare on Elm Street. I'll take that.
I also like toys where he's in the toy in the schoolroom where he's like peeling the apple with his blade.
That was actually Robert. And again, we're on strike and Rennie was new, but Robert kind of looked at me and he's like, all right, how are we going to play this one out? And I was like, I don't really know. What do you want to do? And he's just like, well, a teacher has an apple. A student gives the teacher an apple. And I was like, okay. He's like, give me an apple. They came over, they gave an apple, and he just threw his feet up. And that moment really, for me, set me to, oh God, this guy's really creepy. I'm really scared right now. And then it just gave us that, again, momentum just to be and go with him. And for myself, I trusted Robert more than anyone, only because by that point I had learned that he was, a true thespian in my eyes, which is doing great Shakespearean work, and I was going to high school for the arts. I had just graduated, and so we were studying Shakespeare, and so he was a god to me. And so I didn't really see a director or was interacting with Rennie that much, but I interacted with Robert so much that he was just a giving. He would give everything he could in that scene, not for him to shine, but for us to shine. And that, as an actress, I was just like, wow, that's really cool.
And one thing, when I was booked for 4, I was like, really? Did you see 3?
Yeah.
So it was like the first day on the set, and I was standing next to Robert and waiting to start a scene. And I said, okay. So you cut my head off, right? And he said, yeah. I said, that's right. And he said, yeah. So why am I here? And he said, book. And I said, what? He said, shut up. But I said, all right.
Now, did you see differences on set between Robert and him and his Freddy makeup? Like, was there a preparation process in there, or was it just always super sweet Robert?
That's a great question.
It is a good
I don't know.
question.
Are you talking about the difference between the way he looked in the actual movies?
No, like, was there a getting into character process? Like, did you see him slowly become
I'm kind of with Toy. Like, honestly, Robert was like this. He had like a glow around him all the time. You know what I mean? He's such a, and we're new actors, and he's a seasoned actor. So I didn't get any difference. I just got what Toy got, like a guy that was really trying to help us be good actors. And I spent a lot of time with him too, and he was a really gracious guy. I would say.
He wasn't.
Go ahead.
He wasn't someone to come. Sorry, what?
No, I don't know. You'd have to ask him if he changed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe because I don't know.
He's not the kind of guy who would go, all right, kids, be quiet. I need to get into my character now. Bitch, stuck up like that. He was nothing like that. I mean, we were in the makeup trailer, and he's getting his, face on, and I'm getting my red rinse put on my hair and blow dried and stuff. And we're just sitting there in the makeup trailer, we're talking about, he was redoing his bathroom. We're talking about tile and grout colors, So, like, he just really, I think he was a trained enough actor that, he really worked on his character. He knew what he was going to do. He turned it on like that. Yeah. So that's my take and my experience with it.
Well, when you've seen my death scene, I feel like he was very different in my death scene than he was in pretty much any other.
He was invisible.
He's such a generous actor, he just disappeared and allowed me to have that moment. So.
For you guys that aren't aware, he's joking. You guys know that. They ran out of money and he had to make his own scene up without. Really fun.
I think that seems really cool, actually.
I love it. I had so much fun. If it weren't for these cons where I'm the only one who doesn't have a great picture with Robert, I would never even have thought about it. Because he was there. He was like, Freddie was in the room. It was very...
Well, you were very good in that scene, and I thought that you did a great job, and I think that it was done well.
I love something the hand, you know. When we did the scene where he has to take my head off, we actually used real razors because they wanted to have one shot where he goes in, takes off my head, and then rips up the pillows. And you can't rip up pillows with pretend razors. So he was so careful, because I am also a klutz. So he was so careful that we really choreographed the whole thing, and I could take my head back, and he squish like that, and then bring the other head forward. But they were the real deal, and it was like,
wow,
wow.
That's very trusty.
Yeah.
I totally trusted him.
I mean, did you guys do some of your own stunt work, or were there some people on set, or was this kind of just we're gonna do it?
Oh, no. Well, I do a little gymnastics, so like in the church and the nunchucks and all that, they sent me to, we had half a day of karate school on us.
Yeah.
We could learn some karate. And then I could start the flip and do the cartwheel but then it went into, we had Olympiads. One day there were like 4 or 5 Alices running around in the leather jacket and the jeans who were doing all of that amazing work in the church scene and the flips and this and that. I mean, they were true gymnasts. It was amazing. They made me look fucking good.
I mean, it makes you wonder when Cirque du Soleil is going to do A Nightmare on Elm Street. Awesome.
That's right.
Your character would totally star that. Let's get on that.
So could you each, Nightmare has become so iconic for the death scenes. Like, that's what we remember from a lot of the films is, this is the one with this particular scene or this particular scene. Could you each talk about working with the effects in your own particular scene and how it was kind of constructed together?
Lisa kicks his ass, she doesn't die.
Yeah, Lisa doesn't die.
Alice, which I used to bemoan. I'm like, I never got my death scene with Robert England. And then one day a light bulb went off and I went, Alice Liz, this is good.
You know, it was interesting because they had us, at least for me, they're like, before you start filming, you're going to go to special effects. And I was like, okay, cool, that's great, let's do that. And they're like, start at the Vespa school and you're going to learn how to drive a Vespa. And I was like, oh, cool. And I really did. Like, there's gears in the Vespa, in the old school Vespa. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. I thought that was it. And then they sent me the next day, and Nick Strawn, who was wonderful, and his sister CJ, they actually ran my death scene. And I was with them for like 2 to 3 weeks. So I actually spent more time in the special effects department than I did filming on set, which was really strange. And they kind of stuck my hands in these molds, and they put a mold cast over my body, and I couldn't breathe. And they put little straws in my nose and off to the side, and they're like, just sit there for 30 minutes and let it dry. And suddenly I was like, I'm gonna die in here, and they won't care. And they were like, no, just don't move, because once you move, then we'll have to do it over again. So then they take the saw and they take off the back of my head, and so when we actually go in to film the scene, Robert's looking at the doll, which I wish I would have kept. Because they offered it to me. But he's looking, he's like, all right, your mouth is wide open, so just open your mouth and I'm going to come in. I was just like, no, wait. I wish I would have done that all over again, because I wouldn't have had my mouth wide open. And his dentures fell completely in my mouth. But that was fun. No, but I had a great time. Yes, and after lunch, there was Robert's dentures.
The fake teeth. He has fake teeth.
Yeah.
The Freddie, Robert doesn't have dentures.
Freddie's.
Right. Me too. I'm with Toy. When you do like regular movies, you know, or regular series, like there's not a lot of like effects. You don't get like moons or like, you know. But Nightmare, I had so many body casts in that movie. I was like, I always laugh like, you guys don't have body casts? Everyone did like that.
Everyone had a
I did like a neck piece, an eye patch, I got a car crash, and then the next movie, my death scene was just out of control. But yeah, I did probably like more effects than half the actors that I know. What's it called? There was a technique, like even they use it in Thriller, when they make the cast of you, they pour this goo over you and you have to let it sit. Well, that was a really like hot technique then, so everyone like they were just so excited to see that. Everybody like, oh, let's make a cast. What's your scene? It has nothing to do with it, but let's make a cast. Whatever. And then man, it's a crazy process. And then when you see it and it's actually you, it's like a real picture of you. It's wild. It's like a sculpture of your face, so pretty crazy. Pretty fun.
Well, we already talked about the only two real special effects in that scene. One, Steve Spielberg, who shot the film, and basically was like since I was doing the scene basically alone, I was working with him, and a lot of the stuff where we were fighting, he was dancing with me, and so the camera moves there. But then the only other real special effect in my scene was acting.
And a fine job you did.
Oh, you're such a cheerleader for me. What happened?
I don't know. They really like me today. My death scene was sort of, I don't know, it was like when Robert was getting his makeup on because I was burnt in the furnace. And they were doing my makeup, and it was very much like his. It took hours and hours and hours, and I don't know. It was and it was interesting. It was interesting.
I didn't have any body cast done, but there's old Alice in 4, right? And turning to old Alice. So they tried like 3 different kinds of old age makeup on me, which took several hours. But originally, my mom was gonna play like a lot like my mom, and she was gonna play old Alice. But yeah, I know. But the timing didn't work out because she had just gotten married to her second husband and was in a honeymoon in Hawaii, so she wasn't available. So anyway, there's my story about old Alice.
So after the film comes out, it releases, did you suddenly, and it did incredibly well, the ad variety and everything, did you suddenly discover that you were getting a whole new fan base, or that the roles you were getting were changed based off the film?
I wish that was the case.
Yeah.
This is before social media.
We were waiting for you.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for you all these years.
Yeah.
You had to grow up.
We got fan mail. We get the old school fan mail. If I had your age advice, we get lots of fan mail, but there was no such thing as social media at the
So right,
time.
it was really hard for people to even when the movie was #1 competing with huge blockbuster movies, and yet we were #1 for like a good movie, right? And but
A lot of
back then,
articles written too.
and that's what Brooke was talking about. Then it made Nightmare on Elm Street franchise a legitimate like deal, because now the studios were getting whooped by them. Like, well, this is a big project. We usually be able to make a lot of money. But back then, you still could like look up people's phone numbers. You know, so I had a phone number that you could look up because I wasn't that. I did a couple commercials and movies. So yeah, my phone, I started getting calls. We love you from North Carolina. You're in that movie football, dude. I was like, oh my god, people actually know who I am. But they didn't really know me. They were like, hey, football guy, dude, you're in the movie. I was like, all right, cool. So people were watching it. And we actually all went to the movies
I
together.
was gonna say that.
Oh man, what a blast. That was like being a part of the Beatles or something. We were like, holy crap. It was like, you know.
I think that's when I figured out, wow, there's something here. Was that
There was lines.
there was an opening into the movie, and we actually went to the theater, I think in Westwood, and we all met up, and some of us wore a Nightmare on Elm Street jacket with names on it. It was not whatever, we were going to watch a movie, and all of a sudden it was just like thunderous, and people would laugh and cry or screech in fear, and at the end we got mobbed in this way where we were like,